Wintertime in Europe sees the Atlantic roar into action as 9 of the best toe surfing teams from across the planet convene on the famous shores of Nazare. It's the Tudor Nazare Toe Surfing Challenge. And a very good morning and welcome to live coverage. Myself, Paul Evans, in the studio alongside Ben Mundy and Seb Stoitner. Morning, chaps.
Morning, Paul.
How are we feeling about this morning? We had a kind of a tough day yesterday, but we're feeling pretty positive about getting this underway here. Today's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement.
Yeah, it's just a picture perfect day here in Nazare. We had fog yesterday. All day we waited around. Sebastian here will talk to us about that. It's a bit of a weird day, wasn't it? But we're calling it on. There's waves. It's not giant, let's be honest, but I'll tell you what, it looks absolutely pristine out there, Seba.
Yeah, it looks very nice. Can't wait to see the show.
So we have been basically, yes, as you mentioned, Ben, yesterday all day kind of went for that fog to clear. This swell's been kind of promised for a while, and it feels like it's been out. It feels like a friend almost, this swell. It's been there for a little while now, and finally we get to see it kind of bare its teeth here at the Praia de Norte.
Yeah, exactly. We've been monitoring it, and you know, it was just a strange day yesterday. We thought it was on. We thought the peak of the swell in the afternoon. As the fog came in, you can't predict fog, as we all know, but it's here now. It's just the lines are stacking up deep. It's not kind of those giant times, but you can feel the energy. You can see the TPs. And the world's best surfers are in town, right? So it's pretty exciting.
Very exciting.
So much clearer skies this morning did get us a chance to see some good lines coming in. As you mentioned, Ben, maybe not quite in the huge range as we sometimes see out here, but nevertheless, certainly some big waves out in the water. Early preparations this morning as our teams get a chance to get out and get eyes on this. Hoping for a beautiful day. It does look clean, Ben, crucially.
Yeah, it's offshore. It's southeast, and often you get a lot of wind in this part of the world and a lot of chop, and there will be always bumps. But yeah, it's super clean. It's just a beautiful temperature. The sun's out, the fog's gone. It's pretty nice.
And from your point of view, Sebastian, not getting a chance to surf because of your injury, but do you like watching it when it's big here? How do you feel about seeing it going down and not really been a part of it?
Well, I've never really watched it when it's big, so it's the first time for me. But I'm very excited to see all the boys and the girls, performing, and I have no choice. And I'd rather be here with you boys than somewhere else.
And obviously, like, since the toe surf's been going, the last time out as our first event, but a lot of energy kind of put into that side of big wave surfing here at Nazare, and that buzz is really strong, and we're hoping to see the level just keep going up and up.
Yeah, I think in the last probably 3-4 years, the level has just gone through the roof. And it's very exciting. Every big swell that we have, something that we didn't think would happen, and the performance just increases.
And obviously this is a place that you've been around a while here, kind of watching the evolution, but just maybe in these last couple of winter seasons, toe surfing's almost brought kind of another, it's not just about maybe just surfing down that one huge wave, but that performance aspect has been really important.
Yeah, I think we've kind of stagnated at the size of the wave a little bit. I mean, obviously it varies from year to year, but the performance side definitely has increased, and I'm very excited to see some of the things that are about to happen now. Airs, barrels, it's perfect conditions for it as well. It's not giant, so the boys and girls can go big and wild. Yeah.
Obviously, we talk about giant stuff. There's a reason why it gets really big here at Nazare. It's been called one of the 8 wonders of the world. It is kind of a freak of nature in lots of ways. The reason why this wave gets so big, it's all about that canyon. And we've got a really cool animation to bring you to show you exactly how the mechanics of this place works. That's where we are, the mid-coast of Portugal, Ben. We're facing out right into all that swell, but the swell is one part of it. It's only part of the story. Once it gets here, things start to get really interesting.
Yeah, exactly, Paul. It's this canyon. We talk about the Nazare Canyon a lot, and this is a brilliant graphic of exactly why we get these waves. So the swells sort of march into the Atlantic. The whole coast is copying the swell, but this particular part of the world is where it all sort of converges, and there's a big canyon that diverges the swell and amplifies it into these massive TPs that we've seen Sebastian ride over the years. But it's looking from this Seb, there's you probably don't notice that when you're skiing across it every morning when you go to work, but what a deep trench it is.
No, yeah, it's crazy if you're getting to the lineup and you see those mountains moving at you, and then they shift right before they hit the connect with the normal swell. It's very difficult also because of that to read the wave. It's very late that you know what the wave is about to do.
Yeah, and you can see the trench there, so it's just funneling out into the Atlantic. The waves, don't they, Paul? They slow on the right-hand side, but sort of go fast through that canyon. and that causes these ginormous teepees, the tallest and biggest waves in the world.
The other amazing thing about that, of course, we saw in the animation there, that little fort on the top. The public, the general public, there were literally thousands down there yesterday. Hopefully we get big numbers again today, but they're right there. You can see this go down. You can see you guys surfing in front of them. There isn't really a place comparable with that kind of view anywhere in the surf world.
No, it isn't. And also for the surfers, we can hear everyone cheering. It's like a stadium atmosphere, which is unique.
All right, well, as mentioned, 9 of the best tow teams from across the world. They're convening here for our format this year. But before we can call an event like this on, it's all about having the waves, the swell in the water. Let's check out our Surfline graphic and just see how this swell has developed in the North Atlantic. It's been a system that's been there for a while, Ben. I feel like we know it so well. We're almost ready to take this relationship to the next level.
Yeah,
as well.
I think you and that purple blob have a deep and long-lasting sort of friendship. But it's fleeting, Paul, as a lot of your friendships are. And it's come in, it's been sort of marching across a long period. I think it's sort of 17 seconds sort of during last night. I think it may have peaked last night. Sebastian, you was talking about how this swell's come and hit island sort of yesterday afternoon. You showed some photos, but maybe sort of hit last night. You can tell by just hearing it. Is that true?
Yeah, the shore break on the town side, on the other side of the cliff, gets really loud if it exceeds 15, 20 feet. And last night definitely was loud. So I think the swell came late here and peaked.
And these particular numbers, you obviously check the forecast a lot, but you kind of geek out on it hard, or is it, there's a bit of a wait and see element always with Nazare as well, in terms of what the forecast predicts and what actually shows up on the day?
Yeah, there's some numbers which give some reliability, but it's very much show up on the day and see what happens.
Unfortunately, Sebastian, you are unable to take part this year, but we have got some incredible talent from all around the world. Let's have a look at our teams and see how they shape up and see how this format shapes up for the event as well. So we tweaked it slightly from last time with that kind of like expression session format. We'll get into the formats in a sec, but first of all, let's look at some of those names, Ben. There's a lot of talent there from representing kind of a lot of different sort of stages of the sport in different regions.
Yeah, exactly. And they've all, there's a lot of names, a lot of talent. They've all got one thing in common. I think they've all spent their time here at Nazare. They've all dedicated pretty much their lives to surfing this wave in a lot of cases. So obviously Kai Lenny from Hawaii comes here when he can. Lucas Chianca, they're the two guys that we might be expecting, especially today, to push that level way up. Seb, those guys at the top of that board are they're box office, aren't they?
Yeah, they're into the flips and turns and periods.
Yeah, they're good. But just look at that. There's some, and the girls, Justine DuPont, obviously Maya Gabira. Obviously, you've partnered up with Maya over the years, and she unfortunately can't be there today. But just they're two women, along with Michelle Bouillon's also doing their time. But yeah, they've just been pushing the so much every season. They just get better and better, right? Yeah,
it's so good to have them in the mix, and especially I'm excited to see all of them driving and surfing because it's a team sport. So that's, I think, a first as well to have that many women in an open contest.
I've got a lot of questions for you today about the driving, Seb. We're going to get into that later, but yeah, I'm glad you're here all day, Seb, because I want to pick apart just how much of a team sport it is. There's so much to the logistics, isn't it? It's not just about riding a wave. This is as you said, a team sport.
It is.
More of this good stuff to come. We're going to get a quick commercial break. When we come back, join us for live action. The Tudor Nazare Tow Surf Challenge. We're on. Join us for all the action right after the break.